Hello friends, today in this lab we are going to see how to configure NSG and NACL, Network Security Group and Network Access Control List. So we'll see how to configure Network Security Group and Network Access Control List in this lab. So these are the difference between Network Security Group and the Network Access Control List. If you check the first point, it operates at the instance level. Network Security Group operates at the instance level, and Network Access Control List operates at the subnet level. So it applies to an instance only if it is associated with this instance. So if we create security group and if we apply to some instance, then only it is applicable to those instances. So if we do not apply to any instance, it will not affect. But Network Access Control List, if you apply to any subnet, so what are the instances there within the subnet, this security policy will be applicable to all those instances. And the third point is it supports allow rules only. So basically in security group, we can create only allow rules. We cannot create deny rules in that. So Network Access Control List, here it supports allow rules as well as deny rules. And the fourth point is it evaluates all rules before deciding whether to allow traffic. So it checks the all rules if the traffic should be allowed or not. And in Network Access Control List, it evaluates rules in order. So starting with the lowest number rule and when it deciding whether to allow traffic or not. So it follows the sequence like 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So it gives the priority to the lowest numbered rule. Because we have allow rules and deny rules can be configured in Network Access Control List. And if you check the fifth point, it is stateful actually. So stateful in the sense, so if there is a forward traffic and there is a forward session, the return traffic will be allowed by default. So if you observe this, return traffic is allowed regardless of the rule. So there is no need of any rule for return traffic if it is a stateful. So and the Network Access Control List is stateless. So for return traffic, we must be explicitly allowed by the rules. So there must be a rule for return traffic as well. So in this architecture, we are going to take one VPC in a region and going to take two subnets, dev subnet as well as prod subnet. And these are two VMs in dev subnets and one VM in prod subnet as well. So we'll take one internet gateway also here to communicate with these VMs from the internet. And next we'll configure security groups and we'll apply at instance level. Then these are the Network Access Control List we'll apply at subnet levels. And so once it is configured, so we can check the communication between dev A and dev B. So we can control this traffic by using security group only. So we cannot use this Network Access Control List because it is applicable at subnet level only. But as dev A and dev B VMs are sitting in same subnet, so Network Control Access List is not useful in this case. Means we cannot control traffic between these VMs by using Network Access Control List. So we have to control this traffic using network security groups only. So these are two security groups. We have to attach these instances and we can configure the rules, allow rules on this. So whatever we allow on these rules, so it allows the traffic from towards this instance or from this instance. So we'll see this in today's lab. Also once it is done, so we'll check the communication between so dev A or dev B from dev A or dev B to prod A. So for that one, so we have to allow the traffic on security group as well as this Network Access Control List, also the second Network Access Control List and this network security group. So this is our overall lab guys. So for this one, we are going to follow these steps. First we'll create VPC, then subnets, then network security group, and network access control list, then VM creation and testing. This is our overall lab today. So let's jump into our console now. So this is our AWS console, guys. Let's start with the VPC creation. Now I am in US East 1 region. So let's start create VPC in this region. Just I'm creating VPC here, giving the name as network console, and let me take the CID 10.10.0.0/16, and that's it. Just click on create VPC. So now our VPC is ready. Let's create subnets. So this is a VPC ID and the subnet name is dev subnet. Let me choose the first availability zone and the CID 10.10.1.0/24. Just click on create subnet. And let me create another subnet within the same VPC, and it is prod subnet. (10.10.2.0/24). Click on create subnet. So now we have two subnets, prod subnet and dev subnets already, and this is our VPC. And let's create internet gateway to access the VMs from internet. Just IGW. Click on create internet gateway. So internet gateway is ready, but we have to attach this to our VPC. So attach to VPC, select VPC, attach internet gateway. So now VPC is ready, subnets are ready, and internet gateway is also attached to our VPC. So then let's start creating this network security group and network access control list. So in network access control list, already we have created two subnets, right? So already there is one network access control list and two subnets are already associated with this network access control list. So I don't want to use this default one. Let me create new security group. So let me create new network access control list. And this is for dev NACL. This is for VPC, existing VPC only, and create network access control list. So in that VPC, we created one access control list, that is dev access control list. Let me create another one as well for prod NACL. Just select the VPC, click on create. So now three NACLs are available. This is default one, and the rest of the two are we created now. So let me associate these subnets, the relevant subnet. So prod subnet should be associated with prod NACL, and dev subnet will associate with this NACL. So let me check on dev NACL, and let me do the subnet association first. Edit association. Let's try. And selected dev, right? So dev subnet, save changes. So if you see this, the dev subnet is already associated with this one, and the previous one already was there in the default NACL, right? So it is still showing there. So we have to associate this prod subnet with this NACL. Let me go there and subnet association, edit subnet association, select prod. It is related to prod NACL, right? So click on save changes. Now prod NACL is associated with prod subnet and dev NACL is associated with dev subnet. So let me try to delete this default NACL to avoid confusion. Let's try. Cannot be deleted. The following default ACLs cannot be deleted because it is a default one. So let it be, no problem. But we already associated with this NACL, so these NACL only effective. So now let's create security groups. Click on security groups. So let's create 3 separate security groups. I mean, each VMs can have separate security groups in our case for testing. So let me create 3 network security groups. First one, dev A NSG, means we are going to attach this security group to dev A VM. So that is the reason just I'm taking name as like this. Okay, so VPC, this is our VPC, isn't it? Yeah. Let me choose again. So there are no rules created yet. We'll create the rules later. Let it be. And click on create network security group. So it is asking for security group description. So it seems like it is mandatory. So let me check. Access. Dev A. Okay. Simply create security group. So it is available now. So this is the default NSG. So let it be, but we created the new one. This is our NSG, network security group name. So let me copy this name and edit here. Yeah. And let me create 2 more. This is for dev B NSG. Hello. Access dev B. So this is our VPC only. Let it be, and create security group. So this is also available now. Let me create one more. Prod A NSG. Prod A. Okay, so this is our VPC only. Just click on create security group. Go to security groups and we can see 3 security groups are available now. These are the 3 security groups which we have created now. This is for dev A and this is for dev VM and this is for prod A VM. So our NACL and NSGs are ready now. Let's go to EC2 and create our VMs. EC2, click on instances, launch instances, and take dev A. Just choose Amazon Linux, the basic one. And let's create key pair. NSG NACL. Create key pair. So I downloaded just PuTTY compatible key directly. Let's click on edit. And VPC is this one only. This is our VPC, and let me choose this as a dev subnet. And we need public IP as well. Just I'm clicking on enable public IP for this one. And here, so it is a security group. We have to choose here. So this is a default one. It is creating the new one, but I would like to use one which we have created for the, related to this dev VM. So these are all our NSGs, right? So we created earlier. So let me choose this one. That's it, guys. Just click on launch instance. So if you go back to instances, here you can see it is still pending. So it will take some time to come up. Meanwhile, let's go back to these launch instances and create another two as well. There will be the same key pair and just click on edit. Just set dev subnet only, and we need public IP for this as well. Let's select the security group which we have created especially for this. Click on launch instance. Go back to the instances and just check the first one is still it is in running state, and status check is still in initializing state, and the second one is still showing as pending. And let's create another instance as well. So the name is prod A. Just select the same Linux machine, Amazon Linux, and this is also same, and let's select the key pair as NSG and NACL which we have created earlier. And this is seems like this is already got selected, so let it be, and just enable the IP public IP for this instance and select security group and just choose the right one here, prod A NSG. So just click on launch instance. It's going to create now. Okay, let's go back to EC2 instances and click on running instances now. So only 2 instances are there as of now. Let's wait for some more time. So 3 instances are available now, and still this health check is still it is initializing state for third one. So let's verify the IP address details of these VMs anyhow. So this is the public IP of this dev A, and this is the public IP of dev B, and this is the private IP address. And let's see the same for this one. Yes, the IPs are available now. So 3 VMs are ready now. So these are in running state. So let's wait for some more time just to complete this status check. So I will resume video once these 3 VMs are available. So 3 VMs are available now. Let's try to ping them. Dev A, just take this IP, CMD, ping. So it is not pingable, right? Let me show you the diagram once. So this is our diagram, guys. So we are trying to reach this VM from internet, right? So it has to come like this, and it has to cross the NACL, and it has to cross the network security group. So we don't have any rules on network security group, also network access control list now. So that is the reason we are unable to reach this dev VMs or any other VMs also from internet. So let's go to network access control list of this dev, also security group of this dev VA, and let's start creating these rules, and we'll check that again. So this is our network console. Go to VPCs, click on network access control list, and this is the dev related network access control list. And let's start with inbound rule. Inbound rule means from outside towards inside. Okay, so by default all inbound traffic is denied. So in network access control list we can create allow rules and deny rules, right? So let me create one rule to allow this traffic from my PC. Just let me allow all for now. Okay, rule number, this is let me create a rule number with 100 so that I can create some more rules on top of that if you would like to prioritize than this, so we can use like that. So let it be, and let me allow all traffic from source IP. So let me allow only my IP here. So just go back, you can copy this IP from here and just paste over here. So just click on save changes. Okay, it is, I think, taking a cider, so let me allow this on only save changes. So on network access control list allowed for inbound, but we have to receive response also, right? So let me create outbound traffic, means whenever traffic coming out from the subnet, it has to reach our IP, right? So let me go and edit, add rule, the sequence is 100, this all traffic towards this destination /32, click on save changes. So now the security group is ready for, to allow the communication towards that VM. So let's go back to this security network access control is ready, right? Now security group, let's configure the inbound rule for this. So by default there are no rules, so I think there is a outbound rule by default. So I think we are on prod. Let me select the dev one. So there is a outbound rule. By default it allows any outbound from the VM. So let it be, just let's configure allow inbound rule only. Edit inbound rules, add rules, all traffic, custom, my IP, so it can directly shows your IP here. So in network security group there is a feature like if you select my IP, it will directly identify your public IP and give the result here. Click on save changes. So now we have allowed this traffic as per our architecture. Let's go back to my command prompt and let's check the communication now. So I think still it is taking some time. Let's see. So let me try one more time. So still it is not working. So let's go back to our console and check the details. We have to create route towards internet traffic. So let's go back to VPC and just check the subnet related route table. This is dev subnet route table. By default there will be only local routes, so we have to create additional route towards internet. Okay, route table, click on route table, routes, add route, default route towards IGW. This is our internet gateway, and click on save changes. So this route table is associated with these two subnets. So two subnets follows this route table. Okay, so let me go back to our command prompt and try now. Yes, it is reachable from the internet. Let's test NSG or NACL working properly or not. Now it is reachable, right? Let me initiate continuous ping towards this IP. Let me go back to the console and go to VPCs. Go to network access control list. Just select the dev one, and we have created one inbound rule, right? So edit rules. Let me make it as deny for some time. Save changes. Let's go back to our command prompt and see it is already stopped. So as because of NACL, we have a deny rule, right? So it is not allowing the traffic. So let me go back to our console and enable this rule. Just make it as allow. Click on save changes. The similar way, let's go back to this security groups and test the same. It should be start working now. Yes, it is. And now I'm in dev NSG. We have created one inbound rule, right? So let me come back here, edit inbound rules. There we have already created allow all traffic, right? So let me delete this and click on save changes, and let's see now. Just now I clicked on it. It would take some time to reflect. So it took long time to effect. So now it is not reachable. So let me go back to this NSG and enable the thing. Network security group. Let me create inbound rule, edit rule, and add rule. Allow all traffic. My IP, save changes. Let's see how much time it will take to affect this. Yeah, it is now immediately affected. So for disabling it took some time, but now it is affected very efficiently. Like it took only a few seconds to reflect. So now we are very clear. So let me go back to the diagram and explain you what we have done as of now. So this is our diagram. So I'm able to communicate from internet to this dev A. So I have created a rule towards inbound here, also in two direction, inbound and outbound here. So I am able to communicate with this PC from internet. So let me create a similar way for this PC as well, also for this PC, so that we can access these VMs from internet. Okay, so let's go back to our AWS console and do the rest of the things. So I'm in VPC now. Let me go to NACL. We have two NACLs, prod NACL, dev NACL. So on dev NACL already we created the inbound rule to allow any traffic from this IP. So towards that dev VMs we are clear at NACL level. And let me go back to this NACL, prod NACL, and here also we have to create two rules, inbound and outbound, for that IP. So let me create the same, edit rules, add new rule, sequence is 100, all traffic, and give my IP /32, click on save changes. A similar way I need to create for outbound traffic. Click on edit rules, add new rule, 100, allow traffic. So click on save changes. So now we are okay for prod and dev subnets. So our IP, public IP will be allowed into these two subnets. Okay, so now let's go back to this security groups. For dev A, already we allowed inbound traffic from our IP, so from my public IP, so that I'm able to communicate. Let's do the same for dev B as well as prod A. Inbound rule, edit inbound, add rule, all traffic, my IP, it will detect my IP and click on save changes. So dev B as is also completed now. Let me go back to dev. Okay, let's go back to this prod A, edit rules, add rule, all traffic, from my IP, click on save changes. So now we should be able to ping all the three IPs, as well as we can do SSH. So SSH traffic, for SSH we already downloaded putty key, right? So let's try the same. Just ping back to EC2 instances, click on running instances. So these are our instances. Dev A is already reachable, so let me check dev B. Is it reachable or not from my machine? So the dev B IP is already copied. So let me ping that. Paste 10.1.4.163.209.77. Yes, it is reachable. Let me ping this another IP as well, prod IP. So just click on this one, it will be copied. Ping, right click. Yes, it is also reachable. So now the three VMs are reachable from my IP. Let's do the SSH into these VMs. You can put a SSH authentication key, browse, and browse the latest key which we have downloaded for this session, and click on session, and let me log in into first prod. This is the prod VM IP, and this here, click on open. So it is accessible now. By default our username is EC2 user. Click on enter. Yes, now I'm in prod A. This is our prod A VM. Let me create another session for dev A and dev B as well. This is dev B IP. Copy, paste here, and browse the key again. This is a one. Click on OK. Accept. EC2 user. So this is our dev VM machine. Let me take the console for another VM as well. Sorry, this is dev B, and let me take the console for dev A. SSH connection. Okay, where's the dev A IP? SSH auth key, browse the key. Go back to this and open. EC2 user. Okay, now I'm in dev A. Let me note down the all IP details for our reference. So this is dev A IP address. This is for dev A VM IP. This is dev B. this is prod A. So let me copy it. So these are the 3 VM IPs, and these are the public IPs actually. Let me note down the private IPs as well for our reference. So let me go back to the console. Let's start from dev A. This is the private IP of dev A, and this is the private IP of dev B, and this is the private IP of prod A. So these are public IPs and these are the private IPs of VMs. So let's enter the consoles, and this is dev A. So let me try to ping from dev A to dev B. So what is the IP address of dev B? 253. This is the IP address of dev B. So this is dev A and this is dev B. So let me try to ping from dev A to dev B by using private IPs 10.10.1.253. It is not reachable, so let me try to ping from here as well towards dev A. So this is also not reachable. Let me go back to this diagram so that you can understand what's going on now. So we are trying this communication now from dev A to dev B and dev B to dev A. So it has to cross these network security groups. So this is related to dev A security group and this is dev B security group. So we have to allow this traffic in the security groups only. So then these both can be communicated. So let me allow this. Let's go back to VPC, network security groups. Here is a dev A network security group. If I'm initiating traffic from dev A, it is towards outbound, right? So outbound we already allow any outbound traffic, so it won't create any issue. We already allowed. If you would like to see the rules, if you click on here, we already created outbound rule. This is default rule actually, so I'm keeping it as is. So it is already allowed on dev A network security group as a outbound traffic. Let's go back to dev B. For dev B, it will be inbound traffic whenever we are trying to try to reach from dev A to dev B. So this is inbound traffic, right, to this VM. In dev B, to allow this inbound traffic, I am going to create a rule. Add rule. Let me allow just all traffic, and from the source, this is a dev A source IP, right? Let me count this and paste here. Select this, save rules. So now I allowed the communication from dev A to dev B. So let me go back to our consoles and let's see. It is already reachable. From dev A to dev B, we are able to ping it. But from dev B to dev A, it is not working because we did not allow traffic on this particular NSG group. We allowed only public IP, right? So let me go back to the console, allow that one as well now. dev A, we are initiating traffic from dev B now. It is not working, right? So it is outbound for dev B. In outbound rule already we have allow any. So it is already allowed on dev B NSG level. Now come back to dev A NSG. Here we have to allow the traffic as inbound traffic. We allowed only this IP, right? So let me go back to here. So let me add a rule to allow this traffic. All traffic from the dev B IP it is. Click on save changes. Now we have created two rules. So let me go back to this and see this. From dev B to dev A, it is working fine now. So if you observe the IP address, this is dev A IP. This is the one we are trying from dev B. The next step is we have to check the communication from dev A or dev B towards prod A, and from prod A also we should be able to ping dev A and dev B. So that is our next step. Let's jump into our AWS console. We have to allow this traffic. For example, if you would like to reach from dev A to prod A, it has to cross network security group, this access control list, as well as this access control list and network security group in prod, and finally it reached this. So let's just test this thing first. So this is dev A and this is dev B and this is prod A. So let me try to ping from dev A to prod A. 10.10.1 2.127. So it is not reachable. So similar way, let me try from here. 10.10.2.127. It is also not reachable now. So let's come back here and ping dev A IP 10.10.1.88. It is also not reachable. I'm in AWS console now. So VPCs, click on NACL. So just on dev NACL, let's allow this traffic. Edit rules. This is for inbound traffic. Create a rule 01. Let's allow all traffic. So now I'm dev NACL, just I'm allowing only prod B prod IP here. /32. Save changes. The similar way for outbound rule also we have to allow. Edit rules towards this destination. So add new rule 101 all traffic. And let's put this IP 32. So allowed the prod IP now on NACL, and let me on prod NACL also we have to allow these two IPs, or we can allow this complete subnet range. So let me allow this complete subnet range here. That's it. Inbound traffic and outbound traffic as well. All traffic. And this is 10.10.1.0/24. 10.10.1.0/24 is the subnet mask. I'm allowing complete subnet CID here. For inbound allowed, towards outbound also we have to allow. Edit outbound rules. Edit rule 101. all traffic, outbound IP 10.10.1.0/24. Click on save changes. So NACL now, NACL level we are clear now. So let's go back to this security groups and allow this traffic here. So let's try with the dev. So for dev, if you're trying to ping prod, so there should be outbound traffic should be allowed. So outbound already there is allow all rule. So there is no need of create any outbound rule for that particular IP. So we can ping from dev A, means the traffic will reach. It will allow this traffic on NSG level. And let me go back to prod. As an inbound rule, we had to allow this subnet or specific IP address. Let's allow the subnet so that we can, from dev A and dev B can reach this server. All traffic 10.10.1.0/24. Click on save changes. Save role. So we are clear now. Let me go back to this and check this. See here. So let me reinitiate it. (10.10.2.127). So from dev A we are able to ping prod A, and from dev B also we are able to ping prod A, but we are not able to reach dev A from prod B. For that one we have to go to NACL, go back to dev A NACL. We have to allow inbound traffic from that particular IP or subnet range. All traffic 10.10.2. What is the IP of this prod? 127, right? 2.127. Just paste here /32. Click on save role. Save role and go back here and let's see it is starting communicating now. So this is very clear, and let me test this. Okay, let it be, and let me from here let me ping dev B IP 10.10.1.253. So it is not reachable now because we did not allow this traffic, this inbound traffic on that particular NSG. Let me go back to the console and just select this NSG. For inbound traffic which is coming from prod A, just create the rule to allow any traffic. All traffic, custom IP, and just paste this IP /32. Save rules. Go back to this. Let's check. Here we go. So now from prod A also we are able to ping dev B and dev A as well. So it is clear, guys. Let me go back to the diagram now and I will explain you. So for this traffic we have created, for example, if you are trying to ping from prod A to dev A, it has to cross this rule, right? So here we have to create as a outbound rule. Outbound already there is a default, so we did not allow we haven't created any specific rule. Here we have created a rule to allow this traffic inbound and outbound also. Here also we have created inbound and outbound also. And on this network security group, it is towards inbound to this dev A, So we have allowed in a inbound traffic rule. So it is working fine. The similar way, whenever dev A trying to reach prod A, so in this security group, it is like outbound traffic. So outbound traffic we already allowed with the default rule. It is allowed any traffic, and here it is the outbound traffic, right? So here already we created the outbound inbound rule to communicate with the prod subnet. Also here also we have created outbound inbound rule, and on this security it is like an inbound rule. So inbound traffic we allowed with the explicitly rule. So like this it is working now. So that's it guys. Today we have successfully completed this lab. So hope you enjoy the video guys. Just subscribe and like, share, comment on it, and it encourages me a lot to create more videos on it. Thank you for watching guys. Bye bye.